it won't run. It was stalling at about 1/3 up on the temperature gauge for a couple of weeks, and I would let it sit, and then it would start again and run fine. And then yesterday I was driving, and when I let it, it would idle through that temperature point, hiccup a little bit, but then run normally. But then
Okay.
yesterday I was driving, and it stalled on me at about that temperature point, and I got it restarted. I drove it back to my house, and then today I went out to start it and let it idle up because I was going to take it to the mechanic, and it stalled, and then it won't restart. And
So it just
I
cranks, but it
checked.
doesn't start?
What?
It just cranks, but it does not start?
Correct. And I put
Okay.
starting fluid into the plenum, and it will start and run briefly with the starting fluid. I tried to run it without the air filter. It wouldn't start without the air filter. I checked at the input on the fuel rail, and it seems like it has fuel at the input on the fuel rail.
Oh, I see. All right.
And I can hear the pump running in the gas tank.
Oh, I gotcha. So we know it's got fuel to the rail. We just don't know how much pressure there is.
Correct.
And it may or may not be worth checking in the shop. That would be the responsibility of the technician to make sure that the fuel pressure is within specification. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to get a fuel pressure gauge on there. Or if you think that the fuel pressure is sufficient, well, you could go ahead and just check injector pulse instead of checking the fuel pressure. And you would simply just use a Noid light to check injector pulse. Unplug the injector connector. You have to insert the Noid light, into the injector connector, and then you just crank it over to see if it's blinking.
It sounds like you think that it's at the injector.
No, I don't think it's the injector.
What do you think?
Well, I just said, so let's back up. We know the engine
No,
runs on starting fluid, so we know it's a fuel delivery problem, right?
Yeah.
It sounds to me, based on your description, it's got plenty of fuel pressure, so I'm recommending that you check injector pulse. This is the signal from the computer to the injectors, and this is the signal. We're not checking the injector. This is just the signal to the injector. And it should blink as the engine cranks over.
I hear you. Is there a relay that controls that?
So I think there's a fuel pump relay that I believe, I'm going to look it up here for you, I believe controls the fuel pump and the injectors. Let me just take a look here. But it's possible that it has power, but there's no pulse from the computer. So
Yeah.
A Noid light in that situation, unfortunately, wouldn't work, but you could use a test light or a voltmeter just to check for battery voltage going to the fuel injectors. You could certainly do that without the use of a Noid light. Just turn a key on and just measure battery voltage at your injectors.
What's the voltage supposed to be?
It's going to be battery voltage, so you got a 12-volt battery, so it'll be 12 volt.
Oh, I see. So it's not a step up.
Yep.
So you recommend checking the battery voltage at the injector wires.
Looks like they're all going to have the same color wire, and all that same color wire is going to have battery voltage. Looks like it's a red wire with a black stripe. Let me just take a look here real quick while we're on the phone. See where this, I think it comes from. Oh, look at this. So I think I found it here. Let me just trace it back for you real quick. Yep. So there's a red wire with a black stripe that gets power from the fuel pump relay, and then the fuel pump relay gets power from there's a main relay. It says on relay box. So it's possible, and I think the fuel pump relay and or the main relay goes bad. They go bad quite often on this vehicle. So that would certainly be worth checking into.
Thank you. Would that vary with temperature?
It can. Anything electrical, absolutely. If it's starting to go bad,
temperature. Sorry, I meant engine temperature.
Good question. So the answer is yes. Engine temperature or ambient temperature, it doesn't matter. If electronics start to go bad, they can and they will be affected by temperature, regardless if it's the outside temperature or if it's the engine temperature. So yes.
I only ask because when it was starting to go bad, it was initially happening at a certain temperature point on the gauge, 1/3 up the gauge, a little below normal operating temperature, which is about halfway usually. So I just thought that it might have been a sensor that was going bad that was related to engine temperature. That was what I thought. That's all. But the engine relay is worth changing out.
Well, yeah,
Sorry.
you could change it. Check it. It's up to
Fuel
you.
pump relay.
Yep.
I'll do that. Thank you.
All right, you bet. You're welcome. Any other questions while we're on the phone?
No, thank you. You've been very helpful.
All right, you bet. You're welcome. Good luck, and let us know if anything else comes up.
Thank you.
You bet.